Where did I attack the president on social media? Unless you have not gone to school to read English, read the English. It's you who is using your close proximity to him, okay, to abuse that and to be paying people so that people are incarcerated. And you think I must be quiet about that. And today you want to tell me about my relationship with my brother. He's my brother. I want you to know that. If you did not know that. And I'll stand by him, I've stood by him. Don't distort things. Go back to school and learn English. Don't tell me this rubbish of yours without wosheedzera. And the wosheedzera, nemisekuru, handizero. Okay, land. You must land. You must learn to land. You want to come between me and my brother. You are with us. You want to come between me and my brother, blood. You are lost. Okay, you are lost. You don't know where my relationship with the president is. I respect him as my brother and I'll defend him. And I'll say what is right. Inini now. I cannot join you. I don't just join groups or fights. I'm not like that. I'm principled. Manyanya sekuru kana msina kujwa manyanya sekuru. Manyanya ukama wangu na president haupere so that you must know haupere hausuwe mari hausuwe chi tapakure. You must understand that he buried my father. You must know that he buried my father and for a reason. So inini I'll speak in my own capacity. Not kutaura ne kuda kuchikidzira. No, I owe you nothing. I told you, I gave you money. You are the one who owes me something. Don't try and bring the president's name into all this. When you are working with the president and so forth, you are the one who sent my pictures. You know, my pictures and so forth. You know that Jesus is not close proximity. Makambo tona chitumira my picture of president Jesus. Makambo tona chitikanda my picture ere. But you know I wanna. But my president is munokanda. It's you or makakanda kunambu ya lenyu. O example ya lenyu chikanda ma picture ikoko. Ndima kakanda. Ndima kakanda. Ndima katenga nazo manje zvakuipa makuda kutsvaga inini. Tibvere panapa sekuru moyo. Tibvere panapa iwa. Inini I'm very clear. Musade, don't come in between me and my brother. Don't. Okay? You flip-flop kaho. Mangamuri wana mgabe. Wana first lady. Ngikiri Grace. Mangamuri koku G40. Muka switcha foot. Magara mchi switcha ka. Iso ati switcha isu. You must know that. Ati switcha. And traditional is wrong sasabuku. Ndofana kutai sasabuku. Amuite zvozo amusungisa maire mwana wenyu. Ambuya wenyu makusungisa. Nekuti mune mari. Aiwa kana ndizvo zvairi then mwari pane paachapindira one day. Aiwa inini handidi kuchekedzerwa sekuru. Izvo handidi. And Musafunge can come in between me and the president and try and distort it. The president knows who I am. I write proper English. Kana msingagoni kuerenga imosha dzenyu. Don't distort. Because I'm bringing the president into this. It's you who uses the president's name, who abuses it. I don't, so that you know. I'm my own person. I was chairman of Marsh West. Okay. Kusina kana ama yangu. Ndikawina. President of Midlands, another of Midlands. Ramtasa wanga kumanika land and ndinakwenda. I went in unknown land, territory, and I won because I am a man of the people. I do the right things for the people. So please, Sekuru. Mukatazipere mushechi. Aiwa, Sekuru. Pano wosheedzera not inini at all. Takafa kudara. Kana iri mishonga yenyu mnayo this time ichapera. Because masaka nebhuru chaichairi chapera. Ashandisira vamwe mishonga not inini. Zvenyu zvekunamata kumakomo. Sitotoendawo muninga dzakatodzika kupfuura makoma munokwira kuti muzive izvozvo. Saka tinosangana. Kana iri spiritual tinosangana. Izvo ndokudzai. Musandichikidzire kana aiwa musandichikidzire kana izvo musatombozviita henyu. Mandizvere. Hazvichatomboita zvenyu. Musatombondichikidzire kana. That's one thing that I'll tell you. The problem that you have with me is that when I chaired the Mines and Energy Committee by inquiry at Gwanda, you're exposed. And from that time, you never liked me. And I also dated your sister, Yolanda. You never liked me and everything. So you have other personal issues that you have with me. Okay? I was doing my job. I always do my job. You must understand that. Sakuru. There's nothing that you have done for me. Okay? Chandingaswera ndichinyarara nezvinhu zvakashata kana zvichiitika. Imimi, I told you, when you got out of prison, I was able to give you money. Mukati muchandidzosera namanje, you're a billionaire, but matadza kudzosera. Saka izvo kuti hazvipere mushe sekuru, mune chokwadi nazvo sekuru. Mune chokwadi nemashoko amataura ere. Mukati hazvipere mushe chii. Aiwa sekuru, pano vanochikidzira noti inini at all. Takafa kudhara. Kana iri mishonga yenyamunayo this time ichapera. Because masaka nebhuru chaicho richapera. Ashandisirai vamwe mushonga noti inini. Zvenyu zvekunamata kumakomo sitotoendawo munyinga dzakatodzika kupfuura makomo amunokwira kuti muzive izvozvo. Saka tinosangana. Kana iri spiritual tinosangana. Izvo ndokudzai. Musandichikidzire kana aiwa musandichikidzire kana izvo musatombozviita henyu. Mandizvere hazvichatomboita zvenyu musatombondichikidzire kana. That's one thing that I'll tell you. The problem that you have with me is that when I chaired the Mines and Energy Committee by inquiry at Gwanda, you're exposed. And from that time, you never liked me. And I also dated your sister, Yolanda. You never liked me and everything. So you have other personal issues that you have with me. Okay? I was doing my job. I always do my job. You must understand that. Sakuru. There's nothing that you have done for me. Okay? Chandingaswera ndichinyarara nezvinhu zvakashata kana zvichiitika. Imimi, I told you, when you got out of prison, I was able to give you money. Mukati muchandidzosera namanje, you're a billionaire, but matadza kudzosera. Saka izvo kuti hazvipere mushe sekuru, mune chokwadi nazvo sekuru. Mune chokwadi nemashoko amataura ere. Musade kuda kunobhadhara vanhu mari vachinyora indinonyora chokwadi handisere chikunetsana nemi. That you must know. Don't stand in my way. And don't try and bring the president into it. English is very simple. Everybody knows you're in close proximity to the president, but you abuse it and stop abusing.
As much as we fight, I understand. I do understand with utmost understanding. But we must be able to understand, to accept that we are not yet out of the woods because of that coup. So we tend to, I think we just tend to brush it aside to say it is over and done with. But I don't think we are appreciating the dynamics of it. From the way I see it, how it started and how it ended up getting an administration of Mugabe getting toppled. Because you throw in the mix of Russia, you throw in the mix of China, and you throw in ANC and what ANC has been saying with Fikile Mbalula coming out to say there's a new world order that we are trying to establish. And you see the events that before that election was done, everyone went to Russia. The ones who were concerned, they had to go to Russia. I don't know for what reason. So I personally think we are being affected by that, and all the governments that are involved. It's not only Zimbabwe. It's not only Zimbabwe. It's actually the Southern African region that is being affected, and we need definitely to look into that and see how we can come out of the effects of the coup. And whatever happens now, what is happening, it's out of that, and they are emboldened because they could take take leadership because of through a coup. So what are you going to do? So that is what we have to confront and deal with. Yes, Uncle Jets.
Right. No, I hear you, my brother. I hear you. And yeah, Pagaiba. Because the way this is exactly what we are talking about when we are bringing in the aspect of this Cup 3, right? So when you're placing it this in this environment, there's a bigger question that then gets asked, bigger than the amendment, itself. What happens when the constitutional power is expanded in a system where informal power is already unchecked?
Yes.
These guys are sitting closer to the people who are behind the Cup 3. So if they get it their way.
Yeah, Uncle James, if you get a chance, or anyone get a chance, just familiarize yourself with a documentary that was done on Putin, Russia, Putin, how he get into power. You will be the similarities are so cunning. I can put it that way. The similarities are so cunning that when I looked at it, and having looked at that documentary done on the Constitution and what Mangwana was saying in that Constitution when we're doing our Constitution, the certain sentiments that he was indicating, I was just like, yeah. Then you hear Mbalula on the other side, and the Cap 3 is just something that is it's a something. By the way, let's not even talk about Cap 3, because you can talk about it and say we are thinking as an economist. There's a term that I always like to talk about to say it's called ceteris paribus. They call it ceteris paribus. Holding everything constant. That's what we are thinking as Zimbabweans. We are saying holding everything constant, the constitution is still functional, which is in totally non-existent. It's not happening. So we must take that fact that we are not in ceteris paribus. Yes. We are actually in a situation where it's dependent on the architecture of the coup, and that if we appreciate that, then we can start to talk. But before that, we are just turungomwa mukaka sevana tichingofungidzira kuti tiri kudya sadza apa hatisi. So yeah, it's just a lullaby that we are in. We just have to take that. And even when the election, if they want to do what they want to do, they will do it. We can say what we want, but they will do what they want because they have been emboldened, they have been empowered, not by Zimbabweans only, but there are certain forces behind that have an agenda beyond Zimbabwe that we must appreciate. And if all this is happening, it's just happening because, those forces are there. So we need to untie from that. Unfortunately, when that lady, what's her name? Not Margaret Thatcher, the lady who was prime minister at that time, who came and gave a speech to say we are going to help Zimbabwe from Britain. I can't remember her name. They were actually hoodwinked. They thought they are actually enabling, but so that is the situation from my take. Yes.
Thank you very much, Ningi, and for that, Mkoma. Thank you very much. I do appreciate. You see, as a Zimbabweans, with this current administration, it seems as if we are living in a world of of our own, where things do not matter anymore. There's a doctrine of abuse of process, and that doctrine, it exists for a reason, and it exists to prevent what we are seeing with Chivhayo right now.
We are in a loop. We call it a loop.
It's just crazy, what is happening.
Yeah, it is. But if you look at from the point that I'm looking at, those are the effects of what happened in 2017. Those are the effects, and there's nothing we can do much if we don't diagnose that. Mukaenda kuchipatara mukanzi zvakataura mutubudzi kuti mhopo pamusana chikonzero chaitisa mhopo pamusana, because these are effects. They are emboldened because of certain things. So yeah, I mean, we need to diagnose it the right way, then start to entangle it from that side. Otherwise, we will be cracking our heads all the time.
Right. Thank you very much, Mkoma. Right. For those of you guys, who wants to make a contribution, you can you can ask. You can make a request, and then I'll bring you on as a speaker. So, as I was saying, the process. I mean, this doctrine of abuse of process is there to prevent people like Chivhayo using kusungisa vanhu, asking them to be detained, and also using the prosecution tools that exist in a nation as tools of intimidation or leverage. There's precedence. There's precedence when it comes to this, because in so many jurisdictions it has been constantly been held that when you see a criminal proceedings being initiated for an ulterior motive to punish or to embarrass or to gain an advantage in a civil or domestic dispute, then the integrity of that justice system is compromised. But I don't know, Kutizo, in our system, do we not realize or do we not see these things?
Uncle Jez.
Yeah.
Whilst you are still there, do you know where it starts from? Yes, the judiciary is playing a very critical role also in trying to manipulate the outcome of such cases. Because it happens, I used to be in the police force for 11 years. So what happens is, I was like stationed at the border police station, right? A person comes in, maybe he's been robbed, fraud and so forth, by somebody who is very, very prominent. Then what happens, the person, the officer who is in the charge office, he takes all the reports, right? He takes everything and he puts the docket there.
Mm-hmm.
The IC, the in charge crime, comes and handles the docket. You will see that this docket, it is involving a very prominent figure.
Mm-hmm.
Before he takes act, he puts some instructions on the docket, because he must put some instructions on the docket so that the IO, the person who is going to investigate that case, will follow the instructions of the IC. So that docket is put aside before it is allocated to a junior officer, because they know the moment they allocate a junior officer will quickly go and arrest that person and lock him up. So the IC crime, the in charge crime, that is an assistant. He might be an assistant inspector, he might be a sergeant. He takes the docket and he puts it there. Then he calls the DCI, right, the district in charge, right? Here's the docket involving maybe a politician or what. Then they say, okay, fine, hold on to that docket. Let me confirm from the next person. That's how the chain goes. You understand?
Right.
So it will quickly get to the commission, and the commissioner now will give a directive downwards, cascading downwards, that take this action against that person. I've seen a number of political bigwigs, especially from ZRP, being released without any charges. Because why? Chuhuri would have given an instruction down the ranks to say, no, release that person immediately. And that person will be released. And the moment he's released, he goes back to those people. He knows that he plays around with the commissioner of what. Then they start greeting the man. You see? So this is what used to happen during the Chihuris era. And it's continuing under this Mutamba. That's why you saw Matanga was very, very honest. That's why Matanga was quickly removed and Mutamba was drafted back into the system.
Right.
So that's where the corruption starts.